Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Eggshell Effect, fully cooked and cracking up. I am Becca.
I'm Mellissa.
I'm Bryan.
This very first episode, we're going to take a moment just for introductions. We want everyone to get to know us. So we're all going to go down the line and introduce ourselves, tell you all a little bit about ourselves, and then we're going to each give our definition of what the Eggshell Effect podcast means to each of us. I'm Becca. I own a business. Grams and Pops Magical Attic. It's a brand new business. I sell antiques and vintage, home decor, really anything. So I go around and pick at barns and estate sales and garage sales, and then I bring all the things home and I fix them and sell them. The ultimate goal is to have an antique store one day. This is the infancy phases of my business. I've only been doing this for about 5 months, and I had not been working full time since January. I was fully focused on my business, but I have recently gone back to work. I am in healthcare administration. So I'm a mom and a grandma, which of course is part of the eggshell effect, and it's a big reason for the eggshell effect. So definitely want to let everyone know I'm a mom. I have 3 children. I have 2 bonus kids that are my daughter-in-law and my son-in-law, and I have 3 grandchildren. And that's enough about me for now. Who would like to go next?
Well, I'll go. I'm Bryan. I am 50-year-old, just turned 50 last year, single, raised 2 children, beautiful daughters that are now adults. I went to school later in life, and part of the reason why I'm passionate about this podcast, the Eggshell Effect, is due to kind of my late in life career goals and passions. I work in the mental health field. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family with a very chaotic mom, and I saw the impact that had on me and decided to learn more about that. I'm sure my kids have also seen a little bit of chaos in their mother. Also, I have become friends with Becca. We've been friends for, 18 years now. And we have a lot in common as far as family dynamic.
And I'm Mellissa.
Yes.
And I am
Yes, we do. We're gonna
as well 50. One day Becca will get to be in our club. I am a mom of
I'm the
she's a
baby.
baby. I am a mom of 2.
The 48-year-old baby.
Always will be the baby.
I still get to say it, right?
Still get to say it. I have 2 children, a son and a daughter. I'm a current empty nester, and I work in the plumbing, irrigation, HVAC world. So it's a lot of men. It's a lot of me being grouchy to men. I'm sorry. I get to do the office work, so that's always fun. And I don't know. I just like to hang out with my friends, go to church, and really just I like to go thrifting with my sister. And speaking of my sister,
Yes.
Becca is my sister. So that's why I get to say she's always will be the baby. I've known Bryan since her and Becca became friends. And the eggshell effect to me is you will hear lots of Betty stories. And this is not to bash our mom or anything like that. We just have a lot of funny stories. And we try to set a precedence where we might not act like that sometimes. So, but hey, it made us who we are, and we want this to be fun and not any downers. We just want to laugh and remember fun stories. So we hope that you enjoy it.
So for me, for the eggshell effect, how this all came about was that Bryan and I, when we met, we had a lot of funny stories together, and it was about our mothers. And we just could not believe that there was another mom out there like ours. Me and Mellissa thought that we were an anomaly. There were no other mothers like ours. And Bryan and I started sharing stories, and we laughed so much. And I loved that I had met someone who could laugh about the things that we experienced growing up. And so we had a lot in common about that, because me and my sister have always laughed. I know that's not always the case for
Right.
people who come from, various things and experience various childhoods, but we are all part of Gen X. So I feel as if many people can relate
definitely.
to us and the level of which we were all raised. And so for me, the eggshell effect is I felt like I walked on eggshells a lot with my mom. And I know that Bryan did. I know that Mellissa did. We all did. Let's keep her sane today. Let's not, let her freak out today. Let's all walk on eggshells. And I feel like a lot of people our age have experienced this. So when I became a mom, I said, there's no way. There's no way my kids will walk on eggshells. Well, that did not happen. And my kids probably still to this day walk on eggshells around me as to not trigger mom, and not that I'm crazy or whatever, but we all have those things and we walk on eggshells with our children too. I know I do. My children are adults. The twins are going to be 28 soon and my oldest is 30. And I know I walk on eggshells to protect their feelings and to keep them happy and make everything happy when we're together. So I think a lot of people do that. But I love that the three of us can laugh about it. And I want this to be a safe space for other people to listen and say, oh my goodness, I can relate to that. That is hilarious. That happened to you too. Oh my gosh. And, on their way to work or after work, at whatever it is, or sitting around their house and just needing a good laugh, I want us to be able to provide that laugh for them. And also to let parents know they're not alone, because we didn't have outlets like this when we were raising our children. And we didn't know that all the other moms were going through, unless you had a really good friend to sit and talk to. You didn't know that it was normal behavior, and we were fighting our own inner selves about, oh my gosh, I'm doing exactly what my mom did. I'm making my kids walk on eggshells, not knowing there's a whole world of us out there doing the same thing, because we're just living and learning. And every season of life, we have related more to our mothers as we've hit each season. And our mothers are no longer with us. So they would probably so mad at us for doing this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not here to whoop our butts anymore.
Right.
So we're going to do it.
Right.
And we're not bashing them, as Mellissa said. It's a fun place. It's just a fun place for us to come and talk
we hope
about
that other people
things,
can share their stories with us.
Yeah. Well, I feel the same as you, Becca, and I would also say, maybe because I am so mental health minded, I am a therapist, and so when I think of the eggshell effect, I think of how that was something that I still dealt with even as an adult, even when we first became friends in my early 30s, and it really became apparent to me the first time you met my mom, because I think it was the first time you met my mom. Yes. And we were at, I think it was, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a Dave and Buster's type of place. And
the main event.
I went there, main event. Yes. With my daughters, my niece and nephew were there, and my mom was there, and you came and joined. I can't remember if you brought your kids or not.
Spring break. We had Macy and Maddie with us. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So big group of us. And I don't remember what was said, how it was said, what even happened, but something, or if it's just the fact that you came with kids. Mm-hmm. But my mom's mood shifted a complete 180 and she was obviously being very passive aggressive with you. And I remember you looking at me and asking, like, what did I do? What did I do? And I was so embarrassed, and my mind was just racing, trying to think of some excuse or reason, or but also letting you know it's not your fault, and just feeling humiliated because like I kind of knew, like, this is just my mom. How would it was probably just one little inflection in your voice or something like but who else in the world has a mother like this, and the fact that my mom didn't just act this way with me, but with somebody she just
Our
met.
mom didn't care. Like, she might have just met you and she's going to tell you about it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and that's what it came down to is me feeling comfortable enough with Becca to just kind of be like, look, my mom just does this. And she was like, your mom's just like my mom. I'm not going to take it personally. And after that, realizing we had very similar moms, and Becca became such a part of the chaos and interactions that I often had with my mom and helping her with many things and like moving time and again.
I was a part of the Marsha show many times after that initial that initial visit.
Yes, but ultimately the eggshell effect that it lasted nearly till the day my mother passed away, and until I found the confidence to actually say something and tell her honestly how I felt about the way she'd been acting.
Well, I know I went to, okay, I just have to get this out of the way. I know we're on camera, but I use my hands a lot, and I do have ink all over my hand, and everyone's going to see it, but it looks like I've been finger painting, and I don't know why. I don't know what I touched, but it's there. So if you see it, sorry. I didn't want to take all this off and go wash my hands. So if you see it, anyways.
Arts and craft day.
Like me and my, I went to this therapy. It was a weekend long therapy session, and I was in my 40s probably. Well, I guess I was. How old was I when Mom died?
She'll be gone almost 9 years.
40. She's been gone.
She'll be 9 years May 2nd.
Oh, it's been 9 years. Okay, so I turned 48 this year. So I guess I would have been in my late 30s, and my boss sent to the Landmark Forum, and it was this really wonderful therapy weekend. I loved it. I came back just feeling like a new person. My mom hated it. She absolutely hated it. Because what you learn at the Landmark Forum is that to talk to people about what's bothering you and how it makes you feel. And I don't blame my mom for this, because it's her generation, like that song, Hide Your Crazy, and Start Acting Like a Lady, that was like in the house, just like with Marsha, in the house was a different story, but on the outside of the house, those house secrets stayed inside, and you behaved. And you behaved, which of course, if certain people heard this, they would say Betty did not always behave in public.
No,
Betty didn't always hide her crazy at the house.
We were told, don't be crazy out there. But anyway, I just know that's just the generation that these women that we love, our mothers, we wouldn't, like Mellissa said, we would not be who we are today.
No,
without them.
That's right.
I mean, they created people like us that we can laugh about it and we don't get sensitive about it. We actually, I feel like it makes us stronger. They made us strong women.
Like, stand up and stand up for ourselves and say what's on our mind.
Yes.
Our husbands probably don't appreciate that part about us very well.
Oh no.
But
no.
That's why I don't have one.
Well, and speaking of husbands, I mean, Keith saw my mom just lose her mind over some of the smallest things. Mm-hmm. And he had gotten to where he would have to just be like, hey, Betty, I'm sitting you down for a minute and we're going to have a little chit chat. So, but he could say that, but if I did it, no way. Yeah. So I imagine that your ex-husband also has his own set of Marsha stories.
He and Marsha butt heads, but I want to hear from Mellissa what the eggshell effect means to her.
The eggshell effect to me? Well, I just, like I said earlier, for me, there's a lot of, like, I'm not a sharer. Like, I don't share everything. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I overshare things, but there were a lot of things that happened to me growing up in the house that I grew up in, that people would be shocked as Becca. Like, I have memories that are like, I cannot believe my mom would say that to me. But then I'm like, but it taught me not to say those things to my own daughter. Like, so I stopped the, I don't even know what word, how I'd word it. Like, just broke the cycle.
Broke the cycle.
Yeah, I broke the cycle. Because let me just tell you, I'm not the thinnest thing. I have lost 92 pounds, but in high school, I was not a heavy person. And one story about my mom was, I'm getting ready for prom, and all I heard all day was how fat I was. I mean, my sister is my witness, but I didn't let that, I don't feel like I let that affect me as an adult. Like, I just roll it off my shoulder. I would do anything for her. She'd do anything for me. So, so the eggshell effect me is, it didn't affect me the way a lot of people, I think it would affect them. So, I just try to break the cycle. Yeah.
You smashed
But
those.
again, Betty would do anything for anybody. She would, I've seen her take out some of my cousins' wives or girlfriends because they cheated on them. Or Betty's, she's coming in hot. She's going to take care of the people she loves. So, lots of fun stories.
Well, but I had a similar experience with my mom, not like, her telling me I was fat all day before going to prom, but I spent my childhood kind of being teased about it by all my family members, but especially by my mom, or seeing her insecurity, and during the 80s especially, like latching on to all the, medications, we'll call them, the drugs, to get thin. But
that was that's what we had, that a lot in that in common. We had a lot of that in common, that conversation.
But from the age of 6, being told to like stand up straight, hold my stomach, and I was like 6 years old. But being compared to other kids and then other adolescents, and what their bodies look like, and maybe someday I'll have that kind of figure and things like that. And that is something that's really haunted me my entire
for us,
life, and
it
it
came from our grandmother. Our grandmother talked like that to our mom, to us. A moment on your lips is years on your hips. I can tell you, she said that so many times, every holiday. Peggy.
Oh, Peggy.
So
Peggy, who got me a Taco Bell t-shirt for Christmas one year because I
love Taco Bell.
I obviously love Taco Bell.
So it's just, it's good that we can talk about it, laugh about it, and also be serious about it. But we don't want it to affect how we are as people, as as how we want people to see us. So I always try to,
and people really, really loved our mothers, and we love them too. Of course, we're going to keep saying that over and over and over again, this whole podcast. But I had one person actually say that we were doing this podcast, and I felt like it upset them. And she's, just said, I loved your mom so much, and please don't go online and bash her. And I thought about that, and it did make me kind of second guess the podcast for a moment, because I don't want her memory to be bad. I don't want there to be a bad taste of her memory in anyone's mind, because she was so wonderful to so many people. But at the same time, it's us just laughing and talking about our childhood, and that's part of our childhood. So that's our life. So we do get to talk about it, and we're choosing to laugh about it.
And that's the part, that's the cracking up part.
So
we have grown up and we crack up about it, because some people would not believe the Betty stories or the Marcia stories. They'd be like, your mom would never do that.
Right.
Or Peggy.
Peggy.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, my mom was so loved by so many people, and my friends. so many of them too would never have guessed some of the things that went on behind closed doors. You know, they just adored and loved my mom so much, and you know, there were so many good parts
Right.
about my mom. So same thing, no bashing or anything like that. But I think, like Becca was saying, I mean, it's our stories to tell too, because it's our lives and it's our truth. And if it helps somebody else, or um, you
Right.
know, feel like they're not alone, or to be able to laugh about some things in life, because sometimes it's just, you know, what it
Right.
is, what it is. It was what it was.
Laughter is the
And
cure for all, I feel like. Being
you
able to
know,
laugh about it, being able to
yeah,
share.
Yeah.
right.
Well, and we are all here, and as the title of the podcast is "Fully Cooked and Cracking Up," as Mellissa just mentioned, the fully cooked part, I love that, because we're fully cooked because we're grown up and we've raised our children. We are all empty nesters. So we are all, now our children have the
There's no
stories
telling what they're.
about us, you know,
Yeah.
and when we all get together with my kids, I mean, I'm just like Betty sometimes. I'm like, that did not happen. How dare you say that happened? Ask your brother. It didn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way. And so, but it probably did. And, you know, who knows? They all three have a different perspective of their
Yeah.
childhood, you know, just like me and my
Yeah.
sister and brother do as well. You know, we all have different perspectives of how a story happened. And maybe it was just like the age of our brain at that moment, how we absorbed it, or maybe it didn't hurt us in the
Right.
way that it hurt the other one. And so we didn't feel it as hard. And so we absorbed it differently. And I think that's what the deal is with my kids, why they all three have completely different perspectives over one story. And I mean, two of mine are the same age because they're twins, and then one is 2 years older, but they still absorbed the situation differently. And I feel like your children as well
Yeah.
do the same thing as well. You know, they
Of
have their
course.
own perspective of the time mom flipped. It's usually the time mom flipped out in my
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, of course. They're totally different in their thoughts and opinions and how they see events that happened, that they were both present for. And I'd say that's, you know, the same for our moms, is their perception of things
Yeah, we
obviously
always.
is totally different as a grown woman with a lived life and experiences than ours is, than
Right.
being
Well,
a
we always
10-year-old.
joke that
Right.
Becca had it made, actually, because, you know, Betty and James were tired by the time Becca came. They're like, we're done. She can do whatever she wants to do. Just let her be. So, you know,
Yeah,
I don't feel
she's the
that way
baby.
she's the
all the
baby.
time.
I feel like you and Mom didn't really
But I
clash
still
until
got
older. Until you were a little bit older. Now,
I feel like
13.
me and Mom didn't really clash until, yeah, but then it felt like once I moved away,
Yeah.
a whole, you know, just like we were, like I said earlier, different seasons in our
Yeah.
lives.
We
When
like
I
to
was
call
in a
those
different
phases.
season, when I moved to Texas, when I met Bryan, yes, we're a phasing family. We go through phases, but we were in a season of me
Yeah.
moving away. And whenever I left with the children and moved, that was our first duty station. So for people who don't know, that I was almost 30 years old before, or 28, 29 before Keith joined the Army. So our first duty station, he was 30. I was, I don't know, almost 29, or just turned 29. And that's when I met Bryan. But that was kind of when we built a new bond.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, she would come help me. She came and helped me redo my house, and we would go shopping, and she would come anytime she was off work. She was there for the weekend. And then it became tradition that every time I moved into a new house, she was there and she was helping me. You know, that was our thing together, you know. So we had I loved that, and I missed that so much, that there are so many things in this house that she didn't get to be a part of. But I have the things that we purchased that don't even really go with the house, but I still put them up because they remind me of the times that she came and helped me,
Yeah.
put
And
the
she
house together. And
loved,
so
she loved it. She
it's like
loved
I,
to help.
I
She'd set the whole house up in a night. She's
well, and when my daughter went to her first duty station, I wanted to do that for her as well. I wanted to be there to help her. And then when she went to her second one, I flew from Alaska to Colorado to do a road trip with her across country because I wanted her to have those same experiences that I had with my mom, of moving in. But I knew there would be fights. I knew there would be fights. I mean, you can't be in the car with a mother-daughter like me and my daughter because she has a lot of the same traits. She would probably say she doesn't, but just like I would say about my mom, but she does. And so we have a tendency to argue, sometimes. It's been a while. It's been a long time because she's in a different phase of life right now. But when she was in certain phases, we tended to argue. And so I knew we would. But for the bulk of it, in my memory, it was a great.
And I'm getting to experience that now. Like, I'm getting to pour into, like, because Katie's, moved out and just redid did a barn dominium. So I've got to go over and help her unpack and set her house up. So it was like me getting to play the role of my mom. So that was fun.
Yeah. And Bryan and I just recently helped Charlie, her daughter, move. And when it wasn't long ago, right? Just it feels like it was just a few months ago, but I'm not sure.
I think it was last August.
Oh, it was that long ago, huh?
Right.
But it was fun. I mean, it was good times. We were helping, and we were the moms. The two, I mean, I feel like even though I'm not her aunt, I feel like I'm her aunt, and so it was like the fun aunt come to town and with mom, and we helped her move, and it was fun. And I think it's great that we give our children those experiences. Even the bad. Sometimes it's not perfect.
Never.
It's never perfect.
No,
It's never going to be perfect.
Never perfect.
No.
But that's okay. And that's what we want this podcast to be. We want people to know that life is not perfect. Life is not funny. It's funny. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be lived out loud.
And it's
we're
meant
very
to make
loud.
memories
And
that
we're
get to pass on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So before we wrap up, we're coming to the end of our episode. Before we wrap up, I'd like for us to just maybe, if you want to, end on a funny note, maybe a funny story about a grandmother or an aunt, someone who was a mother figure to you in your life that. It's a funny story. I mean, or it doesn't even have to be funny. It can be, you can find it funny now that you didn't find it funny back then.
Go for it.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Since
go
I'm
for
putting
it.
you all on the spot. Okay. So as we were talking about weight earlier, I have lots of funny weight stories too, because my weight has always up and down. It's yo-yoed. But my favorite Peggy story, aside from the one I
Taco
already
Bell.
told about the Taco Bell t-shirt.
Hey, maybe Taco Bell will sponsor us now.
My favorite story is
That would be so awesome.
it was
The
the
Chihuahua.
puppy dog. I'm not even going to try to say this.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Thanks. And I knew I was going to mess that all the way up. But it was, it said that. And I said, Grandma, what is this? Oh, well, I just figured you like Taco Bell, obviously. But the first time she was rail thin.
Soaking wet,
And
90 pounds.
Aside from one picture we found of her after she passed
Yes.
away, where she had the thick thighs and a thicker behind that she never let us know she had, by the way. But we were walking up. It was Thanksgiving, and it was the first time for Keith to ever meet my family. So this is like the worst time for this to happen. And he doesn't know Peggy. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how mean she is. And we had the sweetest grandfather.
Yes, Papa
I
Art.
mean, the
Honest.
sweetest. Everybody loved our grandfather. And it's really windy. I'm walking on the porch, and he says, "Sis, get in here. That wind's going to blow you away." And I still remember exactly how it went. Here she came. he had his arm up, and she needed to see who was coming up. There's no way any of the girls in this family were getting blown away, right? Because
Thanks, Taco Bell.
and she stopped and said, "Oh,
Arthur D.
that wind is not going to blow her anywhere." And that was the first meeting of my boyfriend and I was already pregnant, by the way. That was obviously he was the father of my children. So that was the first meeting with Peggy, was her calling me fat in her way. And so
that went ain't taking them girls
I
nowhere.
just still laugh about it. Like, some people could not laugh about that. They probably would have hated their grandmother for that. And I didn't. I'm just like, that, whatever. That's just my grandmother. Get used to her, because she's not changing. She's setting her way. So don't gain weight in this family, because she'll get you too. She will get you too. Yeah. Either one of you have a story that you would like to share, or would you like to save it for next time?
Well, I was just saying, it made me think of something, but I feel like we should do like a whole holiday podcast.
No joke. We have some
holiday and big family events, because I've got some of those too.
Because I've got a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Might let the viewers warm up to me first.
I hope that the people who are listening appreciate the fact that we can sit and laugh about these things. And I hope that it helps someone who might be traumatized from the grandparent or the mother or the aunts or whatever, and maybe it'll just give them a safe space to laugh and be like, you know what, it's okay. I can let it go. I can laugh about it now. Because I'm sure all three of us have not always laughed about it. As a matter of fact, I know we haven't, but we're just at an age now that we can appreciate where we come from.
Yeah. And understand our moms a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, we understand them because we've been there now. Mm-hmm. I'll end on this. The one thing that saddens me about them being gone is that, like I was talking about, phases of life that we go through. And every phase, I want to call my mom and say, "Oh, I'm here now." And I remember when you were here, and I want to tell you, for one, I'm so sorry, that I treated you this way. Because, I wasn't always... speaking of not being perfect, I was not perfect either. I totally deserved a lot of things, but there's so many times in life that I want to call her now and say, "Oh my gosh, I was kind of a jerk." And now that I'm in that phase of life, I'm so sorry, Mom. I should not have treated you that way. So I deserved the behavior you gave me. Mellissa, we've lost your sound.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Okay, so since we cannot hear Mellissa, we'll end on that. Write your story down, and we will talk about it next time. Sorry, people, we lost Mellissa. She's out. She's gone silent. So until next time, Bryan, do you have anything to say?
I'd just say, there's no way to be a perfect mom, but there's thousands of ways to be a great mom.
That's the perfect way to end our first episode. Thank you for that. That was amazing. Thank you. Okay, well, we hope you guys enjoyed our show, and we'll be back.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, yes. Say goodbye.
Too late.
I'm back.
Too late.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened. The VCR, 1990 VCR is back.
Okay, well, Yes. I think that was Mom shutting you down. I don't know what you were about to say, but the spirit of Mother or Peggy
like,
just
not
snuck
today.
into the show and silenced.
That's right.
They silenced you.
She said, "Scram."
Scram.
Scram.
Okay, well, girls, have a happy Mother's
goodbye
Day.
for now. We'll see you all soon.
Bye. Love y'all.
You too.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Goodbye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.